Battling election crimes. It's July 31st, 2025, and these are your headlines. The Texas Senate has passed Senate Bill 11, reviving an effort to restore the Attorney General's power to prosecute election crimes, a power that was stripped by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals in a 2021 ruling. The bill passed 70-12, with Senator Robert Nichols, a retiring Republican from Jacksonville, voting with Democrats against the measure. SB 11 would give the Attorney General concurrent jurisdiction, allowing prosecution of election violations even when, and especially when, local prosecutors decline to act. For decades, Texas attorneys general exercised that authority following a 1985 law passed by, get this, it was a Democrat-controlled legislature back then. That changed with the State v. Stevens, where the court ruled the Constitution grants exclusive criminal prosecution power to the local DAs, blocking the AG, who is, of course, currently Ken Paxton, from bringing voter fraud cases without local approval. Well, Governor Greg Abbott added the issue to the current special session and is also backing a constitutional amendment to fully restore that authority. That route, however, would require two-thirds support in both chambers. That makes passage more difficult when you factor in Democrats. A similar effort failed during the regular session after the House added a 6-month delay before the AG could act, language that the Senate and Paxton's office rejected. A new bill, though, filed by Matt Shaheen in the House, who had initially blocked it, now mirrors the Senate version and awaits consideration in the State Affairs Committee. A public university is learning a costly lesson after agreeing to pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars to settle a free speech lawsuit brought by one of its own professors. The University of North Texas will pay $725,000 to Professor Robert Jackson, who sued the school back in 2021 after being accused of racism and removed from his editorial role in the wake of controversy sparked by an academic discussion on race and music theory. The dispute began shortly after the death of George Floyd, when Jackson, who was then editor of an academic journal, organized a symposium responding to a provocative claim made by music theorist Philip Ewell. Ewell had argued that the work of Austrian theorist Heinrich Schenker was rooted in systemic racism. Jackson's essay, titled A Preliminary Response to Ewell, defended aspects of Schenker's scholarship. Well, the reaction was swift, and several professional organizations condemned the publication. A group of music students at UNT called Jackson's views particularly racist and unacceptable, demanded his termination. Shortly after, most of the university's music faculty signed a letter backing the students and condemning the journal. While the university didn't fire Jackson, it removed him as an editor, an action Jackson said violated standard procedure and, more importantly, his First Amendment rights. He filed a lawsuit claiming defamation and retaliation, and now, more than 4 years later, the university is settling. In addition to the $725,000 payment, Jackson will be reinstated as editor of the Journal of Schenkerian Studies, with support for a co-editor, a research assistant, and a reduced teaching load.
Are you worried about your kid's future? You should be. I'm Charles Blaine with Texas Tomorrow. This is a show where we're going to talk about the issues and the people that are pushing the policies that concern your family, your home, and your kids. Catch Texas Tomorrow every Thursday.
The Trump administration's U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has officially withdrawn a land protection plan that would have enabled a dramatic expansion of the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge in West Texas, a move that's being celebrated by Texas lawmakers and land rights advocates as a major victory for private property rights. U.S. Fish and Wildlife announced the withdrawal on Wednesday, with Service Principal Deputy Director Justin Shirley explaining it is consistent with the priorities of the Trump administration by reducing regulatory burdens, strengthening partnerships with state and local stakeholders, and ensuring responsible stewardship of taxpayer resources. Originally finalized under the Biden administration, the Muleshoe Land Protection Plan would have allowed the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to expand the refuge from its current 6,440 acres to up to 700,000 acres, an increase of over 10,000% by purchasing land or acquiring conservation easements from willing sellers across a vast area of Texas and New Mexico. This move was portrayed by the administration as part of its broader 30 by 30 initiative to conserve 30% of U.S. lands and waters by the year 2030. The project engendered strong opposition from Texas representatives, including House Budget Chairman Jody Arrington, who played a pivotal role in the reversal. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.